The object that struck Russian airfields and humiliated the Russian air defense system. For the last few days it's all been talked about, what it could have been and whose production it was. Well, I'll try to look at the situation from a different angle, as much as I can. Let me remind you that so far there have been no official statements about the belonging of this object to the Ukrainian armed forces from persons authorized to make such statements, and therefore, regardless of what any publications write from the words of some unnamed sources, officially it was not made by the Ukrainian side. At least as of today. And now on the subject. Earlier I explained why the Russian air defense is not just humiliated, after strikes on strategic airfields in its deep rear, but also strategically lost the years-long battle for the laurels of armament, has no analogues in the world. But those are all words. Yes, based on facts, but not clarifying the very essence of how this very air defense was humiliated. For the sake of understanding, I will try to explain what the Russian echeloned air defense is. Echeloned air defense is not only short, medium and long-range air defense systems, but also a number of other accompanying technical means, such as radars, electronic warfare and so on. And the object that flew almost 700 kilometers into Russian airspace successfully bypassed, tricked and suppressed those other means. Whatever it was, the drone, the unmanned aerial vehicle, the rocket, the Zeppelin, the Chinese flying flashlight, it was able to level all these tools. That is, the device in question is quite highly technical and high-tech, ahead of Russian technology or very well aware of them. Since the day of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by the Russian invaders, the Ukrainian armed forces have not only destroyed, damaged, but also taken as trophies a huge amount of Russian equipment, including many types of air defense systems, radars, electronic warfare, etc. Ukrainian technical thought has always been one step ahead of Russian, it has been so since the USSR. The only thing missing from the Ukrainian military-industrial complex was funding and technology to go beyond Soviet developments. Even after 2014, no technology was provided to the Ukrainian side. And now the Ukrainians have access not only to technology, but also to unique samples of Russian weapons, for the creation and modernization of which the Russian side has spent dozens of years and hundreds of billions of dollars. And now it turns out that all their developments were not really effective in stopping an object that flew into their airspace. Well, what a surprise! Or was it really to be expected, when you lose equipment by hundreds of trophy units? I am not 100% sure what exactly the tactical bombers on the Russian airfield were destroyed by, but the fact that it confirms technically the failure of several decades of work by the Russian military-industrial complex is a fact. But the main thing is that Russia will not be able to replace everything that turned out to be useless. They do not and will not have such an opportunity. Actually, this is another example of the fact that by invading Ukraine, Russia successfully demilitarizes itself. And it does so with entire kind of troops. Russian air defense. Sross out. Everything is going according to plan.